everybody, so my name is Bennett and I make videos, I make main channel videos about beauty and fashion, but at the moment I'm more making revision videos on my second channel, Revision with Eve, and Mr. Bruff has asked me to come on here today to talk to you, and I love Mr. Bruff. He's like my lifeline for English and he got me through my GCSEs, so of course I was going to jump at the chance to talk to you guys. And Mr. Bruff has made a video on my channel about how to tackle English exam questions, which is so useful, and all of the advice there will really be helpful to you. So I hope that you enjoy both of the videos. Please do ignore just the amount of post-it notes. Actually, these are all English critical quotes, so I feel like I can have these on here because this is an English revision channel, so like ignore those. That's politics though, so I mean we can just pretend that that doesn't exist. I know it's not the best background, but you know, needs must, needs must. So today I'm going to be talking about organisation, and you may all be thinking, oh my goodness, everybody is always on my case about being organised, like I know I need to make a timetable, whatever. Okay, I hate to break it to you, but if you're not organised, it's really going to have an impact on your grades, and not just like a little impact, like a big far-reaching impact, because if you are not organised, you're not going to cover everything in time, you're not going to cover everything in enough depth, you'll get stressed because things are just getting left last minute. So I have a few sort of topic areas that I just wanted to go over, but before I do that, I made a video on how to make a revision timetable on my channel. I think it's one of the first videos on my channel, and a lot of people have said that that's really useful, so if you're here to find out how to make a revision timetable, go and watch that first, then come back, and then we can continue. So my first thing that a lot of people ask, and something that I am currently experiencing the struggle of, is Eve, I get so much homework, I really don't have time to fit in revision, or I don't know if I can make a timetable because some nights I get 5 hours of homework, some nights I get 10 minutes. And I can totally relate to this. Some nights I get way more than others, and it doesn't tend to be regular. Some nights I'll have barely anything, other nights I'll be up till like 12 trying to finish it. So I haven't been able to make a revision timetable this year. Obviously I will make one in Easter because, you know, I'm off school, but up until that point I'm just having to revise when I have the time, which is usually on the weekends, on Sundays, or when I have done all my homework. But you have to remember that if you're doing your homework really well, that is revision in itself, so don't feel too disheartened, because if you're doing your homework to a good standard and it's taking you that long, then it will be cemented in your head. So if you cannot make a revision timetable, it's totally okay. Make sure you make one in the holidays, definitely. But for now, to-do lists can be really useful. Now I have two types of to-do lists. So every single day when you get home from school, you need a notebook and you need to make a to-do list. Okay, let me just... So this is my weekend to-do list. I usually have a weekend one and then evening ones. So this is my weekend one. I have all of the list of things that I need to do. So I have like admin stuff that's not necessarily school. So like organise folder, film a YouTube video, send back form, things like that. And then I have politics, Spanish, English, German, and then other things that I can do if I've got the time, but if I don't, it's really no big deal. It's just things to remind me, and then I can work my way through this weekend. So on here there is homework, but there's also, you know, revised core executive, revised vocab, revised grammar, and it's just a case of how much I manage to get done. So make sure every single night you have a to-do list. So like this is my Wednesday to-do list. I literally get, like, as you can tell, I really like post-it notes. I get through a lot of post-it notes. I'm probably not doing much good to the environment, but they're so useful, and again, I've got to-do lists, like reading lists over here and things like that. To-do lists are so important, but I have a few do's and don'ts when it comes to to-do lists. So my biggest don't is don't keep adding stuff to it. Like, I am so guilty of this. I will make a to-do list and I'll finish it and I'll be like, oh, maybe I should have done a bit more. If you sit down and make an objective plan of what you'd like to get done in a day or in an afternoon, make sure that you're not too over ambitious and you put way too much that you feel disheartened that you don't finish it, or that you're under ambitious and you put like, oh yeah, I'll do 10 minutes, and then you're like, yeah, I finished my to-do list, I've been so productive. It's a case of getting a balance. So obviously you need to guesstimate how much time your homework's going to take you. So last night I knew that it was going to take me my whole evening, so the only thing I had on my to-do list was German homework, English homework, shower, read my book. That was it, and it did take me the whole evening. Whereas other nights, perhaps on a Tuesday when I don't have that much homework, I'll be like, okay, homework's probably going to take me about 2 hours, so what else can I do? I could do some vocab, I could do some critical reading, I could do some, do you know what I mean? You just have to really balance your time. Another thing that I would say is if you're going to write a to-do list, make sure that you have everything on there, not just schoolwork. So have like other things that you need to do within a weekend, because for me it's not actually work that stresses me out, it's like other things that I need to be doing, like forms for summer schools, or like filling out emails, or booking flights, or changing flights, or I don't know, like just silly things, like senior team presentations, like things like that, and they can really get on top of you really easily. So make sure you put those on your list too, and just make sure you work through it at the weekend, like work through it at your own pace. Like today I'm going to see Beauty and the Beast, so I know that I'm not going to be home till 12, and then I'll work from 12 until I'm done everything that I feel like I need to get done for today. And then I'm thinking, well, I've got loads of time tomorrow, so I can balance that. And just make sure that you are finding the balance between making sure your to-do list is enough that you will have done a lot, but also not overwhelming yourself with stuff, a really like over dramatic to-do list. And if you don't get something done in the evening, it's okay, just move it over to the next day. I mean, some people use bullet journals and stuff. I've tried that, but I really just like making to-do lists as and when, wherever. Honestly, the amount of paper I've wasted is a joke. The next thing that a lot of people ask is, okay, so I know I need to revise and I can't make a timetable, but I don't know what to revise and I'm worried that I won't cover everything. This is me at the moment, because I really only have time to revise like haphazardly, and I get a lot of revision done in a week, but it's not timetabled and I don't know like how much I've covered in a week. So what I've kind of done is made a revision checklist for each subject. Obviously for English Lit I can't really do that, but for German and Spanish I've made a vocab checklist of all the vocab I need to revise, and a grammar checklist of all the grammar I need to revise, and then for politics I've obviously got the specification. So I'm just working my way through that, and I've kind of got an aim before Easter. I feel like then you know that you've covered everything. So okay, let me give you an example. Politics, I have 4 topics that we've finished completely, so my aim is to have revised all those topics at least once before Easter so I can go over them again in the Easter holidays. So right now I've done 2 of the topics, and I'm gonna, between the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do the other 2, and it's worked out quite well obviously because it's taken me 3 weeks to do the first ones, 3 weeks to do second, and that's fine. Another example for languages, I want to have gone through all of the vocab at least once by Easter. For English, I want to have reread all of the texts at least once by Easter. It's just things like that, because then you know that you're covering what you need to be covering. Really don't stress about having your whole life planned out. That's what Easter's for. Easter, you need to make sure that you're covering like everything. But I know it can be difficult, especially if you're doing A-levels, and especially with subjects like English where it's really just as much as you can do. A lot of the time, I find, if you're really getting stressed about it, do your homework, but do like an extra bit, and then that counts as revision. So okay, for example, last night I did my German homework, which was just to do a worksheet, but instead of doing that one worksheet, I did all of the worksheets from that section. So I did some translation practice, some listening practice, and it just all adds up really quickly, because obviously I can't have a translation checklist because it's just a case of doing as much as you can. So really, if you can't make a checklist, just make sure that you're doing enough that you feel happy that you're covering things. I know it can be so difficult, and I get really frustrated too. Another tip to have if you're really struggling to balance homework and revision is to make a checklist of all the techniques you can use to revise a subject, and then you can like kind of put a little tick next to it after you've done it, so you can see, okay, over the last Easter term I've done like so much translation, but I've barely done any summary practice. Okay, so I need to do my summary practice over Easter. So here I have a list of like all of the techniques that I tend to find useful. So okay, let me give you an example because I know you can't read it from here. So for Gatsby, which obviously is one of my texts, I've got reread the text and annotations on the text, learn my key quote cards, reread my folder notes and take out any key points that I might have missed or forgotten since I've done the lesson, read some critics articles and learn some critical quotes, do some past paper questions, read through the mark schemes and examiners' reports, learn the assessment objectives and any further contextual research. So that's kind of just a comprehensive list of all the ways that I find useful to revise, and obviously I can't fit that in an Easter term, so every time I've done an hour of one of those I put a little black dot. Every time I've done half an hour I put an open black dot, so when I look at Easter I can see, okay, I've spent a lot of time on Gatsby but not that much time on Chaucer. And I know that that's, you know, it's still not the same as having a revision timetable, and trust me, I'm struggling just as much as you are, but it has worked quite well, and also it's a good way to make you feel less overwhelmed, because you've got a list of things that you know are going to work for you, so you can just work through them at your own pace, and you're not like flipping from revision technique to revision technique every 10 minutes and getting really stressed about it, because that's not going to help you. I can get really overwhelmed with languages sometimes because there's so many resources. I've got like 2 textbooks full of resources, caboodle sheets, online articles, like, and you feel the need that you need to do it all. You don't, you just need to do a lot of it. So that's kind of everything that I have about organising your timetable and your checklists. So my main point is really, if you can't make a timetable, make sure you have long-term goals and make sure that you've covered everything you want to cover by Easter at least once, because then you can use Easter for really consolidating your knowledge, because Easter is really late this year, like really late. But then I'm getting stressed because we have 3 weeks left of term and we are nowhere near finished any of the topics. Cool. I hate A-levels. I literally hate A-levels. So now I'm going to go on to organising your life, because obviously if you're organised with your revision timetable, that's great. But this is something that I struggle with, is that obviously I have a lot of extra commitments. I have brownies, Rangers, dance, YouTube, and now I want to talk about that because I feel like this can be a really fine line that you need to tread. Don't get me wrong, it's really important to have extracurricular activities. I literally don't know what I'd do if I didn't have extracurricular activities to do, but please, for the love of God, if you're getting stressed about fitting it all in, then you may have to just go to the leader of your curricular activity and say, okay, look, I have got exams in 2 months. I need to leave for 2 months. Be like, I need to have a break for 2 months. I know that that might be a hindrance, but I really don't want it to impact on my grades. And honestly, 99% of people will understand that. I had a break from Rangers over exam season. I was barely going to dance, but I did warn them, like, don't just ditch them. YouTube, I barely uploaded, and that was fine by me because I knew that I could come back, and I did it all in the summer loads. And again, it's the same this year. Obviously I started not uploading a bit earlier on my main channel, but it's not top of my priority list right now. YouTube is like the bottom of my list. Like, revision YouTube is up here, but like normal YouTube is down here, because there are millions of makeup videos but not so many videos on how to organise your life. Make sure you prioritise. If you're really struggling to prioritise, make a list. Exams come at the top. Exams come at the top. Then you make a list of everything else. So for me it would be like exams, brownies, dance, because I've got a dance show, Rangers, YouTube, like, and then I know. So I've like warned my Ranger leader, okay, I'm probably going to miss a lot of Rangers. Like, I will come when I can, but if I'm feeling really overwhelmed, I probably won't. I mean, I'm going out for Rangers now, so, you know, get that balance. I have made a video on trying to find your like life revision balance with Childline. That will be coming out really soon, so watch out for that. But yeah, I really think that it's really important to prioritise. I know that can be really difficult, but when you feel like it's getting on top of you, put, what do I have to do? What should I probably do? What, like, can I do but I don't have to? And that's how I always do it. I have to sit my exams, I have to go to family events. I should go to brownies, I should go to dance. I could go to Rangers, I could film a YouTube, like, that's just how you need to do it. You know where your life fits, because if you've got a busy schedule like me, sometimes it's not enough just fitting in revision around everything else. For example, this morning I got up at 6 AM to film this video because I knew I was going out, so I mean, if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. And my final thing that I want to talk about with regards to being organised is forward planning. So I have a calendar on my wall. It's a huge calendar. I'll try and like insert a clip here, and on my calendar I have all of my exam dates, all of my like masterclass dates, dance show dates, dates I'm on holiday, dates I'm away, events at school like speeches, presentations I need to do, things like that. And it just really helps to be able to see your year in an outward view. My biggest cause of stress is feeling like I'm really disorganised because I haven't packed for a holiday that I'm going on in like August. I'm really bad about that. I think about one event that's like in the next week, and then I'm thinking, oh my god, next week I've got that, oh my god, next week I've got that, oh my god, next. So if you can just see how far away they are and how you need to stop stressing about it, it can really help. And that kind of ties in with my biggest advice with being organised. Take it one day at a time. There's a quote, and it's like, the best thing about the future is it comes one day at a time. Obviously you need to forward plan, you need to have big aims, but if you can tackle those aims one day at a time, you'll really find that when you look back after a couple of weeks, you're like, wow, I've done loads. I always take things one day at a time. It can be difficult sometimes, and I will admit I get stressed really easily about, life events coming up and stuff. Like, I'm missing school to go to a Cambridge lecture on Wednesday, and that's really stressing me out. But if I just take it one day at a time, make sure I'm keeping on top of things, everything will work out fine. And my final message really is, please don't get stressed. If you stay organised, you'll find that the work will do itself in a way. Obviously you need to revise, but if you find that you make sure you make an effort to keep the balance between all of the aspects in your life really on top, you will not have a problem. Obviously social life needs to fall down the priority list a bit just for these next 2 months, and I swear to God your summer will be lit. Okay, us people at AS don't get a proper summer, because I swear I'm going back to school for 6 weeks to start my A2, and then I'm on summer schools, residentials, further reading, personal statements all through the summer. So I mean, if you're in year 11, just know that your summer will be great because you literally don't have to worry about a thing. But yeah, my main message from this very long video is, please be organised. Please, please, please just take it as it comes. Be organised each day and make sure you have an organisation for each day and each week. But please don't try and get stressed about, okay, so I've just done an hour of politics, but then I haven't revised the whole thing and my exam's in like 2 minutes, and I'm just don't do it, because that's what I do all the time and it doesn't help you. What you need to do is see things objectively, like, right, I revised one topic of politics today, I've got 10 more to go, I've got 3 weeks till the end of term. How many hours a day do I need to do? And then you can fit it in. It's just a case of seeing things objectively, and I hope that this has been really, really useful and a kind of a kick up the bum for anyone that really is struggling to get their life organised, because I've given you about 50 million techniques. I am the queen of organisation. It's my trait, and I've never missed a homework deadline, and I'm proud of that because I've organised. So I hope these are useful, and I will see you on my channel or floating around Mr. Bruff's channel very, very soon. Sorry for the long video. Bye! Mwah.